Revolusi Perindustrian keempat, IR 4.0, termasuk kecerdasan buatan. Bermula sebagai programmer pada usianya daripada 17 untuk Patimas Sendirian Berhad, beliau berjaya membangunkan sistem besar untuk menguruskan semua flat yang diuruskan oleh Majlis Bandaraya Kuala Lumpur pada usia yang sangat muda, yaitu 17 tahun. Sebagai penganalisis sistem dan pembangunan, beliau telah membangunkan banyak aplikasi inovasi digital, termasuk sistem keuangan, dan beliau mengetahui kumpulan pemaju, keselamatan maklumat, dan profesional infrastruktur di Universiti Asia Pasifik, APU, universiti terkemuka di Asia Pasifik yang menerima lebih daripada 200 anugerah tempatan dan antarabangsa. Beliau cemerlang dalam perancangan strategik, membina pasukan berprestasi tinggi, pengurusan projek, dan melaksanakan metodologi amalan terbaik dan program penambahbaikan yang berterusan. Tanpa melengahkan masa, dengan ini mempersilakan Encik Rasodin Ramuddin, pakar penceramah IT, bagi memulakan ceramah beliau. Dengan segala hormatnya, dipersilakan.
Terima kasih kepada Tuan Musi Majlis. Assalamualaikum semua. Salam sejahtera dan selamat pagi kepada semua pihak hadirin. Okay. Terdahulu, saya ingin minta izin untuk berbahasa campur, bahasa Malaysia dan bahasa Inggeris. Okay. Let me share my screen first. Boleh nampak skrin saya sekarang?
Nampak kan?
Nampak? Oh. Okay. For introduction, I mean, basically saya husband and father of two kids lah, son, I have one son and one daughter. Okay. I've started my career quite some time. I mean, quite young basically, as young as when I was waiting for SRP result, working as a technician in repair computers, and after that, working at small computer shop. Then from there, basically, I have been given opportunity to do quite a few things, basically including design some simple system. Okay, that's where I had opportunity to meet one of the a CEO of a software house, basically, that saw my system and decided to give opportunity to me. To develop a system for DBKL system. That was 20 years ago, and the rest are history basically. So I've been in this ICT industry for more than 20 years, okay, and have been focusing on IR 4.0. So IR 4.0 basically, or Industrial Revolution, they have 9 pillars. So out of 9 pillars, one of them basically is the cybersecurity itself. So I've been teaching cybersecurity to quite a number of students basically. Basically, we're teaching them how to hack and how to prevent, to do what we call penetration test basically. Now, so for this session, untuk sesi yang ini, kita ada 5 agenda. Sesi pertama, kita akan discuss pasal cyber security. Tapi I noticed that Puan DSP Lai have covered quite a number of things, very interesting what Puan DSP Lai have covered basically, okay, that talk about cybersecurity. So then I'm going to talk about the computer safety, best practices that you might want to consider, okay, or things that you need to do when you're at work and even at home basically. Then we're going to get basic of online security. Yang ini DSP Puan Lai dah cover quite a number of things that, so I'm going to touch a bit basically, how to prevent, and I'm also going to answer some question. Just now somebody asked question, how this scammer get the list of your IC number and so on. Maybe I can share with you, because that's what I've been taught my students, okay, not to teach them how to hack, basically to teach them, understand how hacker hacks, so they can prevent basically. Okay, then how to secure your account and password, then we're going to discuss about general tips and privacy basically. Now, so let's we talk about cybersecurity. So why cybersecurity is important to you, basically? Now, you have to understand that teknologi sendiri tak boleh protect you daripada semua ancaman yang kita ada, especially online, basically. Now, normally attackers or hackers or scammers, semua yang nak commit crime ni, okay, dia akan pergi ke mencari lubuk yang lemah. For example, kalau ada perompak nak rompak rumah tu, apa dia akan buat? Dia akan cari bilik mana, tingkap mana yang terbuka. So dia akan masuk melalui tingkap yang terbuka, basically. Okay, same goes to cybersecurity, basically. So attackers go where security is weakest, in other words, basically. So the first defense, basically, or the first link, normally when you talk about cybersecurity, ialah people itself. That means you. Okay, so cybersecurity awareness is important not only for those people who working in government. Okay, it is also very important for everybody, including your parents, your kids, okay, business owner, everyone, basically. And cybersecurity responsibility basically belong to everybody. Everybody is responsible to cybersecurity. Okay, not your system administrator alone, not your server administrator, everybody. Now, some people think that attackers tak interested dengan nak attack diri kita, pasal kita tak pernah kena. Okay, ini interesting about cybersecurity. Normally we always assume, kawan kita kena kena sabotaj, atau kawan kita kena scam, hilang duit 50,000 katakan. Okay, so kita fikir dia kena, kita takkan kena. Okay, if you have that thinking, watch out, be careful on that. I always tell my students, I always tell my clients, basically, things that not happen today, that doesn't mean it won't happen tomorrow to you. Okay, so you must always have a precaution, basically. So what this attacker wants, basically, so normally they interested to have your credit card, your financial data, your medical data. You might wonder, kenapa dia nak saya punya rekod kesihatan? Kata melalui you punya rekod kesihatan tu, sometimes dia boleh pakai you punya rekod tu untuk claim insurance. Kalau dia ada IC, dia boleh pakai you punya IC punya detail tu untuk claim loan, example. Okay, so your data actually more value than the financial data. Now, and not only that, sometimes hackers interested dengan you bukan nak access you punya data. Sometimes dia nak pakai you punya komputer tanpa you sedar. Okay, example like masa I do presentation to my client or even to my student, basically, I actually demonstrate with them, show to them how they can actually hack a computer from from anywhere, basically, just by getting that person visit a website. Okay, we shall talk about that part more detail later. So the moment your computer infected, dia akan pakai komputer you untuk pakai crypto mining. That means dia pakai komputer you untuk buat mining untuk cryptocurrency, so that dia dapat duit, basically. Ataupun dia attack you punya browser untuk buat advertising. Okay, and worse, ransomware, dia freeze you punya komputer, so you tak boleh pakai you punya hard disk, data semua, melainkan you dah bayar baru dia release. Okay, or worse still, jump point. Sometimes ransomware tu dia pakai untuk ahli perhatian saja. Okay, dia suruh you bayar, lepas tu dia bagi you file, you execute your file, dia boleh ambil semua data dan dia boleh hilangkan data you. Okay, in fact, there are some companies actually went bankrupt or have to close because of ransomware. Now, and of course, beside that, they are also interested with your user and email credential. So they can use your email to send spam, to have more access to other computer. Like if you have Office 365, they will access to your data. or to do recovery or reset other accounts. We're going to look at that more details. If you wonder what is going on what do you call in this, give me a second. What is going on with our internet now? I'm going to show to you how I can actually go to this website. In fact, I already set up a website. Let me show to you. If you look at here, this basically, this I call cyber threat basically. So you can see, nampak tak ada maps ni? These are the link, the actual attack that was going on basically. You know, example like you can letak kat sini, you tengok macam ada Netherlands, United States attack Netherlands, Thailand attack. Ini bukan attack, ini adalah virus basically. Dan virus tu dikontrol oleh daripada komputer di dalam negara ni. Contoh, nampak macam attack lah, tapi bukan. This is a real time of cyber attack happening on this planet of Earth at this particular moment, as you can see, real life basically. So it happened to anywhere. It's not necessarily must this thing happen on a company. It can also happen to an individual company for information. Now, I have a video here basically, which I will play this video. I will show to you how a cyber attack can happen to an organization. Let's have a look at this.
Hey, you got a minute?
What's up?
I got the data on this attack.
How bad?
It's bad. And these guys were pros.
Well, how'd they get in?
I mean, using pretty much every trick in the book. Phishing emails for starters. I mean, Jessica and Duncan gave up their passwords on the first try. And Clark and Christina were next. They got about 60% of our staff, basically. I mean, to be fair, the phishing site looked extremely legit.
This is not good.
Yeah, well, that's not even the half of it. Looks like they scouted the building last Tuesday. They were war driving, looking for any wireless access points. And then they pretty much just walked right in. They cloned an ID badge, they somehow got a key code, and then from that point it was easy. They stuck a rogue wireless point in a meeting room. And then they broke into the server closet and installed a sniffer on the network. They even planted key loggers on people's PCs. It's a device that you can record anything an employee types in. They got logins, passwords.
For Pete's sake.
They also bugged 3 meeting rooms, and there's one in here.
All right, so what's the damage?
They got 2,000 customer accounts. Okay, all of our board minutes, the HR server, product roadmaps. They even got into our social media accounts. The password was password.
Shoot me.
Yeah, well, like I said, these guys were pros.
Well, thank God they were working for us.
All right. So my job basically, I actually have been trained a group of cybersecurity engineers. So that's what they do, the one that you see on the video just now. They have been trained how to get information, what we call footprinting, and do scanning, and do attack, and so on basically, okay? So, in fact, I've been training quite a number of them. So, most of them will be hired as a cybersecurity engineer. They will not be hacker, but they know how hacker works basically. Okay, so to defend our cybersecurity system. Now, next, let's look at computer safety. Let's talk about computer safety. So, how we can safeguard our computers basically. Now, first of all, I believe many of you use Windows, okay? Or some of you use mobile phone, Android, Apple, iOS, and so on. The challenge is this. Kita ada mobile phone, katakan kita ada Apple phone, okay? Let's say you ada Apple phone, you dah pakai lebih setahun, sekali tak cukup space. Then suddenly you kena update, tapi you tak boleh update pasal you tak cukup space. You kata, tak apalah, my phone so okay, tak payah update lah, pakai je lah. Okay. No, by doing that, you actually inviting hackers to get it into your phone actually. This apply bukan saja Apple, Android, okay, your Windows 10, your Windows 7 and so on. Kalau you tak update, basically hackers can access your machine. Okay, now, so how this thing can happen? We're going to look at that later. Now, you must always remember, update are essential to security. So what was secure yesterday may not be secure today. Example, like you beli phone tahun 2020, very secure, okay, tak semestinya dia secure tahun 2021. Walaupun setahun saja gap. Okay, nah ini the moment you tak update, banyak benda boleh terjadi during that process. Alright, now give me a few seconds. Let me share my slide again. Give me a few seconds. I'm trying to share my slides, but I cannot share my slide. Still cannot. Okay. Sorry. Okay, never mind. Alright. Now, take note, new software vulnerability are found every day, as you can see on the slide basically. Okay, what is vulnerability? Macam rumah kita, okay, secure kita pakai lock, kita kunci pintu. Tapi kalau kita kunci semua tingkap, bayangkan kalau tak ada aircon, kita akan rasa stuffy. So apa kita buat? Kita akan buka tingkap. The moment you buka tingkap, itu automatically akan ada vulnerability di mana perompak, okay, boleh lompat masuk basically. Sama juga komputer. The komputer setiap hari akan ada satu vulnerability, ada satu kelemahan basically yang akan didetect oleh hackers, cyber security professional and so on. So vulnerability ini kena di-update atau kena di-cover basically. Okay? Now, so to do that basically, your software, your operating system need to be updated. Okay, as you can see here, over 360,000, bukan 360,000 new malware, virus and ransomware released every day. In fact, for information, when we teach our cybersecurity students, okay, they also learn how to create a malware. Because to create malware ni bukannya susah, senang je. Mana-mana cybersecurity student tahu macam mana nak create malware. It's so easy basically. Okay, now remember, update or security is not something you dah set, you can forget. It doesn't work that way. You must always update and monitor basically. And don't forget, okay, the most dangerous, the most vulnerable basically browser that you use to access the internet. Okay, so many of us kita pakai Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari, and make sure all these browser always up to date. Tapi kalau boleh, bukan kalau boleh, kalau selok-eloknya jangan pakai Internet Explorer, because Internet Explorer no longer supported. There banyak vulnerability on Internet Explorer. That's why Microsoft dah stop Internet Explorer support. They release this Microsoft Edge basically. Okay, and those who access internet from mobile phone, mobile devices, as I mentioned before, vulnerability, virus, malware, dia bukan hanya attack laptop saja. Okay, sekarang ni kebanyakan hacker dia suka attack mobile phone. Okay, now what does it mean? Example like, kalau kita pergi out session, katakan daripada KK, pergi KKR, you stay di hotel. Okay, Tapi kalau dalam Malaysia tak ada masalah lah. Kalau you pakai message dekat Sabah, KL pun you ada message, you boleh dapat internet connection. Tapi katakanlah you travel daripada KK ke Japan example. So Japan, kalau you pakai message, kebanyakan kita tak pakai message punya roaming dekat Japan pasal mahal sikit. So apa kita buat? When you land dekat airport, what is the first thing we do? Kita cari Wi-Fi basically. Now, kita pun connect Wi-Fi, kita pun log on dan order taxi pakai Grab ke apa. Betul tak? Now, so what happened is, kalau you punya mobile phone tak updated, okay, the chances data yang you hantar untuk book Grab tu akan expose. Tadi ada seorang tanya, macam mana dia boleh tahu my account number apa semua tu? Salah satu cara dia adalah melalui method yang ini. Di mana you pergi dekat mana-mana open Wi-Fi, you connect and you do certain transaction, okay. Example dekat hotel, you book ticket, you perform my bank to you, dia boleh ambil you punya account number and dia boleh, sometimes they can see your password as well, okay. Now, most of the cybersecurity students, they are trained how to get banking password basically. It's not difficult to get banking password nowadays. Kalau you punya computer connected to Wi-Fi, open Wi-Fi not secure. There's a thing what we call man in the middle attack, which they can see all these things. Not only that, they can also make such way, okay, in a technical term we call it as replay basically. That means you, contohnya, you buka account, you buat transaction, you transfer account daripada account A to account B. So kalau ada hacker kat situ, dah habis capture data, dia boleh pakai transaction sama daripada A kepada C example, tanpa you sedar. Walaupun dia tak tahu you punya user dan password, dia masih lagi boleh buat. Itu dipanggil teknik of what we call replay basically. Now, so hackers are trained to do all this. And of course, another access to the internet basically through IoT. Some of us, kita nak rumah kita canggih. Apa kita buat? Kita letak CCTV, kita letak lampu yang boleh control daripada application and so on. Okay, especially CCTV lah basically. Okay. Now, and kalau nak access daripada mobile phone, normally CCTV ni, dia kena ada satu what we call public IP address. Okay, need to be exposed to the internet basically. Now, kalau you tak configure properly, kalau service provider tu tak ada proper security firewall, ini pun bahaya. Because hacker can actually see you through your CCTV basically. So these are the things that you need to consider. So all these things we call it Internet of Things or IoT. Okay. Banyaklah lampu, LSI, even sekarang ni kereta. Okay. For the past few days now, I've been focusing on fan test on cars. Kereta pun sekarang kita boleh control pakai telefon kan. Start engine, start aircon, check seat temperature and so on basically. All that under IoT basically, which is part of IR 4.0 revolution. So IR 4.0 revolution is very good, but kalau tak properly secure, can do this problem as well. So make sure you keep your system up to date. Like operating system, okay, whatever operating system you use, Apple, OS, Linux ke, Windows 10 ke, make sure it's update. But kalau company you masih ada pakai bukan Windows 10, you pakai Windows 7 ke Windows 8 ke, my advice to you, stop it immediately, upgrade to Windows 10. Because kalau you pakai Windows 7 and Windows 8, okay, and you pergi ke internet, seolah you memanggil hackers, hey, please hack my computers. Okay, that's how easy it is to hack Windows 7 and Windows 8 basically. Okay, even if you install antivirus on the Windows 7 and Windows 8, the chances for your computer to be protected is still slim basically. So make sure you're using Windows 10 and above. Okay, in regards to antivirus basically, of course they have so many in the market, Symantec, Norton and so on, but based on my experience now, Microsoft, they have a Windows 10, they have a Windows Defender. That is a good enough as antivirus, okay, to protect the operating system. So you don't have to invest on a third-party software. Windows Defender is good enough. Okay, normally 2 years ago, I would tell my students, okay, or my clients, okay, do not use Windows Defender because it's not secure. But now I'm telling all my clients, you can use Windows Defender to protect your Windows. Okay, it's secure. Now next, let's look at how you can secure your account password. Managing password. I still remember, okay, late last year, I received a call from somebody in one of the government agency. He said he got this a case of some concern about cybersecurity in his agency. Okay, so he called me, you know, to do some checking basically. So I went there. So when I went there basically, okay, first of all you need to meet secretary. So I met the secretary. Okay. Lepas tu pergi masuk bilik dia, lepas tu you know, we have a conversation. Then dia tanya I, dia tanya I, am I know what his password? So I should tell him his password. He was shocked. Okay, he was shocked that I know his password. Agak-agaknya you rasa macam mana I tahu password dia? Boleh agak ke sesiapa? I tak ada hack ke, tak ada apa. Macam mana agaknya I boleh tahu password dia? Okay, nah, saya ialah, okay, I jumpa sekretari dia kan, dekat sekretari dia ada monitor, dekat monitor tu ada banyak sticky note. Okay, so dalam satu sticky note tu, ada satu sticky note tu, dia ada tulis satu karakter yang pelik sikit. So I tengok karakter tu, I hafal karakter tu, so I agak karakter tu adalah password. Sekali I tanya dia apa, dia punya pengarah tu, itulah password dia basically. So don't write password on a sticky note. And the best part is don't put on the dekat monitor, semua orang boleh nampak. Kan monitor, orang suka letak sticky note dekat monitor tu kan, don't do that. Okay, people can see. That's one. Number two, don't store password in clear text, such as Microsoft Excel. All these things people can see basically. Okay, but you know, sometimes people ask, macam mana ni? I ada banyak password, macam mana nak ingat semua tu? Don't worry. Sekarang ni kita dah ada password manager. Okay, macam I pakai password manager panggil LastPass. Okay, I ada lebih daripada 25 password. Okay, depending on the certain service basically. So how I remember this? I tak remember. So apa I buat? Okay, you know, I ada password MyEG lah, password untuk you know, bank 1, bank 2, bank 3 and so on. Ada semua servis ni I pakai password yang lain. In fact, I tak tahu pun apa password tu. So apa I buat? I pakai LastPass. LastPass boleh generate password, dia boleh store. So each time when I pergi kat website tu, I just letak my biometric fingerprint, dia boleh log on for me basically. Okay, so consider to use a password manager. So you can Google ni, LastPass, it's quite good. Once you set up everything, so username, password, everything will be stored here basically. So maybe you're gonna ask, kalau orang dapat LastPass, my LastPass password macam mana? Problem besar. Okay, so apa kita perlu buat dengan pakai password manager ni? Kita hanya perlu tahu satu password saja. And make sure password ni betul-betul secure basically. Okay, now so the benefit of password manager basically, you just use one strong password to access all other services. So the password are very secure, are stored securely, and it autofill username and password on the website, even on mobile phone, and it's synced basically. Okay, that's what I use. Now, so password tips. Okay, kebanyakan password. Okay, so tadi ada tanya macam mana dia dapat username, macam mana dia dapat password and so on. Because actually majority, okay, user using a simple password to guess. You know why? Because most of us, password adalah combination nama kita, the first character or first 4 character, plus kita punya birthday, plus kita punya anak punya birthday, plus kita punya pet name, nama kucing kita, nama anjing kita, nama anak kita, address kita, and semua ni basically. So hacker basically have a program what they do, they go to your Facebook, they get all this information, they will they put in their system basically, okay? Then they will use this what we call dictionary. They have a dictionary, okay? Then what they can do do attack what we call brute force attack basically. Brute force attack, they will brute force attack basically use all possible combination. In addition to that, they can actually use dictionary. They attack based on some potential password that you most probably use it, which is combination of your name, your child name, and your birth date or your child birth date, and so on basically. That's why if you wonder how people can get your password, okay, it's because one of the reasons you share information, too much information on your Facebook, on your social network. Okay, so to minimize that, have a separate password for every account. Okay, to make your life easier, as I mentioned before, use a password manager such as LastPass. Okay. So I use my password LastPass. I don't even know what is the password because it's auto-generated, and the password is very complex. Okay. Now look at this. You know, in addition to that, some of us share our password with our colleagues. Now take note. People change. Okay, we never know. So if you share your password, example like ada dengar satu case, you know, boyfriend girlfriend share same password. Okay, then happen, you know, relationship tu tak jadi, dia berpisah. Then apa, dia punya partner tu cause a lot of trouble because partner tu tahu password girlfriend dia, example. Okay, so don't share. With your colleague, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, with your spouse, and so on. Keep it to yourself, basically. Okay, don't share with anybody. And if possible, don't use the same password for all accounts. Okay, use separate password. And don't use a simple password. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, don't do that. Now, so what you can do basically, instead of using password, use a passphrase. What is passphrase? Example like, okay, some of us using, you know, very complex password. You know, example, very complex so much so that you can forget. Instead of doing that, you use password. Example, my son was born November 2010. Okay, so let's say my son was born in November 2010. I can type my son. So zero, O I jadikan di zero. My son was born November 2010. Okay, so if I type this, although the password is long, okay, but easy for me to remember basically. And the best part is very secure because there are capital letter, there are small letter, there are number, okay, and so on. In fact, kalau I nak bubuh my son was born, nak bubuh zero, O sini pun boleh, tak ada masalah. Because the longer that you have, the more difficult for hacker to hack basically. Okay, nah, ini kalau you tengok ni dia akan jadi macam passphrase lah instead of password basically. Okay, so jangan buat kalau boleh panjangkan password sepanjang boleh. So set a password combination of capital letter, small letter, and number at least. Or you can use special character as well. Now, macam mana kalau kita nak check sama ada kita punya password dah kena hack ke belum? Okay, you can go to this website called F5 bin Pon. Can everybody? You nak try ke? Shall we try, everybody? Okay, let's retry this. Go to a website called F5 bin Pon. So go to this website, type this web address, F5 bin Pon. Lepas tu bubuh you punya email. Example like I nak pakai email untuk let's say contoh lah, siapa punya email lah, Lofa lah, paling popular sekali email Lofa. I think the email is called email Lofa. So I can bullet out user, hacker, they can just Google, find out this what called footprinting. In fact, there ada Lofa, Nilofa, betul ke? Nilofa, kalau kita Google kita ada nampak Nilofa punya email ni. So apa kita boleh buat? Boleh copy ni Nilofa punya email. Maybe emailnya ini Nabila, ini contoh saja. So I just take anywhere from internet that publish This how sometimes hacker find the information. So I can bubuh email address ni, I can click found. So from here basically I can see, oh no, found. Now what does it mean? That mean kalau hacker dia akan buat macam ni, dia bubuh email address, dia punya target tu. Lepas tu apa dia buat? Dia akan turun ke bawah ni, dia akan tengok, oh kalau nak dapat password yang email address ni, apa yang boleh pergi? I boleh pergi dekat LinkedIn, I boleh pergi dekat ni, tengok yang ada password. Oh, what I can do? Dia ada di Globe Fox site that have been hacked in 2020. Okay, so this email address probably have been used by or been used to register to this particular service. What I can do? In hacking community, they have this thing called dark web. Okay, dark web ni it's a special. You tak boleh access pakai browser biasa. You kena pakai browser special lah. Dia panggil Tor basically. Dekat dark web tu macam-macam kita boleh cari. Kita boleh cari password, kita boleh cari boleh cari bank account. Katakan I nak beli bank account untuk sesiapa yang ada account nama untuk bank A example. I masuk dark web, I boleh cari ada tak database untuk customer daripada bank A. Kalau ada, I nak beli. Boleh beli kat situ. Okay, itu panggil dark web. Macam-macam lah. Ada orang beli pornografi videos and so on. Dekat dark web tu bahaya. In fact, ada orang pakai dark web ni untuk buat transaction yang jahat. Untuk beli dada, jual untuk upah pembunuh and so on basically. Okay, just to share with you. Okay, so you have to be careful on the this cyber security, cyber safe for your kids as well basically. Jangan bagi diorang terjebak. Okay, pasal dekat dark web tu ni, kalau dia tahu dark web, kalau dia termasuk dark web ni masalah kita nanti. Kalau dekat dark web tu macam-macam boleh buat. Boleh beli pistol, boleh beli pinggan, machine gun, boleh beli apa, boleh bom ke apa, semua boleh kat situ. Itu dia panggil dark web. Hackers, some hacker they actually publish melalui yang itu. Okay, so you check you punya address kat situ, ada keluar tak? Kalau ada keluar, masalah, cepat-cepat tukar password. Okay, now next, so what we can do to make it secure basically? So we can use two-factor authentication, or we call it multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication maksud dia ialah, okay, example like you pakai bank, masuk bank you log in, when you want to perform transaction, dia akan hantar SMS code dekat you. Okay, then you boleh untuk proceed, you enter code tu baru dia boleh proceed. Some bank thinks that this is very secure. Masalahnya, kalau pakai phone call dengan SMS, it's not secure because hackers still can see whatever your SMS, whatever code that sent to you via SMS basically. But ada setengah bank dia tak tahu masalah ni lagi. Okay, dia rasa dia ingat dengan buat multi-factor authentication, which code akan dihantar melalui SMS safe. The answer is not safe. As I said, hackers, student, cyber security, they have been trained how to get text melalui SMS. Okay, so it's not secure. So it much more secure melalui application dia sendiri. Kalau dia boleh develop application. Example like kalau Google, dia ada Google Authentication, Microsoft, they have Microsoft Authenticator. Okay, so I hope most of bank Malaysia, they can come up with alternative option. Instead of using SMS, they can use some other authenticator basically. Because SMS is a clear text, not secure. In fact, WhatsApp is slightly more secure than SMS because WhatsApp is encrypted as compared to SMS, which is not encrypted. There are so many ways how people can get your SMS data. Now, next, let me talk about phishing, which Puan DSP Lai already covered most of this, so I just want to touch a bit on this. Okay. Now, so how do we know when we receive email or we go to website it is safe or not? This is what you can do. You can check by using 4 steps. First, you verify. Verify, check, okay. Ada the link tu betul ke tak betul? Is it email? Or were you expecting a link via that social media, SMS, iMessage, and so on? Okay, so how we do check this? You just hover to that particular link, which I will talk about that in a short while, basically. Okay, and Next, okay, sniff test. Is it a site you recognize? Does it familiar to you? Always be skeptical if you receive emails. You know, sometimes you receive emails saying that blah, 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 blah. Okay, you are required to respond this within 24 hours. You put click and respond. Don't do that. Make sure you have this checking. And once all this thing done, then only you can click basically. Okay, now, so how do we do that? How do we do that? Let's look at this. They are quite easy to recognize scam basically. So normally scam, example like email. Okay, you boleh nampak ni, best scam drugs. Okay, blah 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 to this thing. Then you display about something about ship basically. Now first of all, okay, you ada beli Viagra. Kalau you ada beli Viagra, you expect link, maybe lah. Tapi kalau you tak ada beli Viagra, tiba-tiba dapat email Viagra, pelik lah. Okay, so what we can do, we can check when you receive email, nak tahu dia scam ke tak, you check dia punya domain name. Okay, is it valid or not? Okay, and are you expecting email from this particular company? And check the strange wording, example like Viagra. You tak pernah order Viagra, you tak perlu buy Viagra and so on, tiba-tiba dapat email pasal Viagra pula. Okay, and check the email address. This example, all these are red flag. Now, another example. Okay, if you look at this email, okay, you tengok email address, check, is the email address okay? Okay, are you expected email from that person? Is the name okay? Or is the signature a bit weird? Now, what does it mean? Now, this is a very interesting part. Many of us have a Facebook. I'm not sure you have this, you have been pernah explain scam yang ini ke tidak melalui Facebook. Pernah tak you dapat message daripada kawan you melalui Facebook, okay, mengatakan you dapat message daripada your friend melalui Facebook, iMessenger example, okay, messenger lah, Facebook yang messenger mengatakan, hey, is this hey Stacy, is this your video? Oh my god, they bagi teks macam tu. You kalau dapat message tu, you takut lah, video apa lah ni? You pun click. When you click, they will direct you to log on, username password. You pun enter username password. You click, then you masuk Facebook tu, you tengok, tak ada video apa pun, simple je. Lepas tu you pun ignore. No, I don't see anything. After that, you don't get any response. Pernah tak dapat message lebih kurang macam tu? Anybody?
Pernah.
Okay, be careful because itu adalah kerja hackers. Okay, once dia dapat you log on username and password, bermakna dia akan dapat you punya password, lepas tu dia akan hack you punya Facebook account, dia buat benda sama, dia akan dapat sebanyak yang mungkin. Okay, and at the same time they also will use the same username and password to access your other services. Now, how do they know what services that you have? Okay, I will show to you how hacker do their work. Okay, now tadi kita pakai email ni kan. Okay, now hacker actually dia kadang-kadang dia pakai tadi ada tanya macam mana orang dapat my account number semua kan. Boleh dapat account number melalui ini basically. We call it open source intelligence framework. I show you live lah. Okay, how they can get look at this. But just by using username, okay, I can actually find out which services that you registered to basically. Example like go and check username. I show live this partially lah. This is what I call footprinting process, where the hacker can actually find out what accounts or services that you subscribe by using that particular email address. So I know that this email address nobila@gmail.com have been used to register eBay. So I can actually log on to eBay by using this email address and by using whatever password that I got basically. I know that Nobila also have this account called macam-macam lah, apa GitHub, ada Behave, Facebook ada, Facebook sini tak ada lah. Can you see that? Okay, this is just example. Actually dia ada banyak lagi. Okay, dia ada lagi satu service yang boleh check account number tu ada register dengan mana-mana banking account tak, pun boleh juga. Okay, so that's how they check basically. If you wonder how hackers do their work, that's how they do it. Just by having your email address, they can find out what is your account number and so on as well. Or just by having your account number, they can find out more details. Example like how much your balance in the bank and so on. They have a way, basically. Some hacker, they know how to do that. Okay. And interestingly, this now this can be done. Okay. Now, of course, when we talk about phishing now, SMS is another method that being used by scammers and so on. Example, like in this case, Moderna, an American company has been approved to provide you with COVID-19. Please contact it or WhatsApp. Please contact WhatsApp via this number. This Singapore number lah. Okay, be careful. Okay, when you receive SMS, check the name of your SMS okay, number okay, ada you expected the text. Okay, you know, check all the details about the SMS. Always suspicious. Do not trust. So always take note on that. Whenever you receive online, my advice to you, always be suspicious. It's better to be suspicious than terlambat. Okay. So how do we know it actually it's real? So what do you do basically when you receive email? Okay, you move your mouse to that particular link. Example, like in this case called hover. Okay, you move your mouse. Example, like you move the mouse to hover, dia akan keluar. Example, like ini link ni dia tulis kat sini www.treetopsecurity.com. Example, like sometimes you receive email www.bank.com. Tapi when you move your mouse, sekali dia keluar link lain pula, www.evil.com. Now what does it mean? That mean benda tu tak betul. Dia nak trap you. Keluar lain tapi link yang sebenarnya adalah lain. Okay, so banyak orang terpangkap benda ni. Okay, so this blue text ni masa kita terima email nampak macam real, but actually it's not. Okay, there you go. So move your mouse, hover, you boleh nampak link tu. Okay, dan lagi satu, kadang-kadang you move your mouse, okay, dia akan keluar number. Example like 192.168.1.1 example. Ini IP address. Okay, be careful. Kalau IP address, maksud dia tak betul. Okay, dia shouldn't be IP address basically. So macam mana nak tahu betul ke tak betul link tu? Kalau you move that www.stop, you move kat sini dia keluar sama dengan ini, itu okey, itu betul lah. Okay. Nah, tapi kalau komputer senang lah, kalau desktop. Kalau mobile phone macam mana? Mobile phone you kena hold dekat link tu lama sikit, nanti dia akan keluar link tu. Kalau you agak-agak, jangan klik langsung lah. Better. Okay, so dia is mobile long device, dia akan keluar. You hold dekat sini, dia akan keluar benda ni. Jangan klik lepas, itu dia you klik, you hold, you press, hold down. Kalau you pakai mobile phone lah atau tablet. Tapi ada setengah hacker, what they do basically, instead of panjang-panjang, dia pakai bit.ly. Banyak kita terpangkap sini because you know, sometimes we receive email, kita akan nampak banyak orang pakai link lebih kurang macam ni lah. Kita pun trust. Example like macam ni, bit.ly /this thing. Kita ingat dia betul. Sekali tengok, dia tak betul basically. So what you can do, you can go to this website called linkexpander.com. Okay, nak check link tu pergi mana sebenarnya. Ataupun kalau orang yang pakai link, short link ni, jangan klik lah. Kalau you tak tahu penerima tu you tak percaya, jangan klik langsung. Very dangerous. Okay. Now, same goes to email address basically, spam melalui email address. Example like ini, contoh ni Amazon dikata daripada customer support. Okay, email address daripada customer.live.com. Email address pun spelling salah ni. Can you see that? Dah suspicious. Lepas tu, you move the mouse, you boleh nampak email address dia. Dia account alert at amazon.com. Nampak macam betul ni daripada amazon.com. Tapi kalau you hover, you boleh nampak, ataupun sometimes you boleh nampak email address ni. Email address ni bukan daripada Amazon. Okay, daripada yang ini basically. Ini adalah maybe belong to a hacker address basically. So don't click, don't receive. Don't click update. You know, sometimes you see blah blah blah, click update now. When you click update, they direct to this particular page basically. So be careful on this. Okay. So normally hackers, they know how to clone a website. In fact, hacker what they do basically, dia ada satu tool ni, okay, a special tool, we call it a social engineering toolkit. I can go to any website, I can take a clone of that website, look exactly like that website, but when you type username and password, I will capture your username and password, then it direct you to the particular original website. So user like us will not know that that is not a real website, but it look exactly real. Because example like, contoh lah, ini contoh saja, like Maybank to you example. Okay. Hacker basically dia boleh take a snapshot of login Maybank to you apa semua. Okay. When you log on, username and password akan capture. Hacker tu akan dah tahu. Lepas you log on, dia akan redirect you to actual real Maybank to you. So daripada user perspective, you tak ada suspicious because you nampak macam bank, macam account biasa. Okay. This can be done basically. Okay. Now let's look at more email attack. Ni more example lah of email attack. Now, especially when they have attachment. Now, always stop and think before you click anything basically. You check, do you recognize the sender or not? Are you expecting any attachment? And so on basically. Worse still, kalau Microsoft Word and so on, Microsoft Word ke Excel, dia ada satu function dipanggil macros. Macro ni dia boleh run satu function. So what happen is, the moment you double click on that, that's it. They will install virus on your computer basically, or even on your mobile phone and so on. Okay, so be careful on this. Now another email scam is using what we call social engineering method. Now what does it mean? So hackers sometimes they are smart. So what they do, okay, they will find out, okay, if the CEO is not in the if CEO went for on leave. Okay, example like they have a case here. Okay, that CEO went for on leave to Japan or something like that. Okay, maybe, I'm not sure how many days. Let's say example. In this case, I just come up with example lah. Let's say 2 weeks example. Okay, then suddenly CFO receive email. CFO certified financial officer lah, just for like finance and so on. Receive email from CEO mengatakan, let's say the CFO name called Kamal example. Kamal, please transfer 1 million to this account as soon as possible. I'm going to close this deal. Okay, so you know CFO pun terima email kan daripada CEO, dia pun transfer duit 1 million dekat kepada CFO tu, kepada CEO. Lepas CEO balik, lepas tu CFO jumpa CEO tu nak minta apa? Record lah, mengatakan duit tu dah transfer, dah masuk. CEO tu kejut, bila masa lah I minta duit 1 juta transfer account ni account siapa? CFO tu terkejut. I got your email saying that you issue instruction to me to transfer money to this account. Then the CEO read, no, this is not my account number, I never send you this email. This can happen basically. Okay, this is slightly advanced. It has been happening for your information up to that level basically. So to prevent this, the organization need to come up with some another validation process basically before transfer money and so on basically. Okay, so in that case last time, okay, 1 million was transferred to one account, then the account basically transferred to another big account and so on, then the money gone just like that basically, or 1 million for no reason. Okay, now next, a phone scam. This normal lah basically. I think many of us receive. I also sometimes receive this phone scam basically. So what they do, they call. I still remember last time I received a call daripada somebody. Dia cakap, tapi apa dia kata dia daripada satu company ni nak offer apa ada promotion and so on. So they just need my account number. Okay, and they will send something, a code to me. I just need to re-forward back the code to him basically. Okay, so what he want to do basically, okay, he actually trying to transfer. He actually tries to perform a transaction. Okay, by what you call by processing a transaction by using the code basically. Okay, so you have to be careful on this. This is what we call social engineering method. So normally they focus on the banks and credit card companies, medical insurance, income tax, and many more basically. So tadi Puan DSP lain mention, okay, kalau you nak recognize sama ada tu scam ke tak scam, spammer ke tak, one of the method you can actually call satu application such as Truecaller. So kalau you pakai Truecaller, kalau dia scammer, dia ada keluar kat situ scammer. So you boleh ignore lah. That would be better basically. Okay, so I think phone scammer is quite common, which like Puan Lai mentioned just now. Puan DSP Lai already covered this part basically. This is another example lah. Hi, this is Habibah from EPF. We have been trying to get in touch with you. Okay, however, we will be blocking your account within 48 hours because your account has been compromised from several countries. So we need to change your block. We need to change or block your account. As a result, you will not be able to get funds from IC now. You know EPF. So please press 1 to get connected. This is another method basically. So you know you have to consider all these things. So general tips and privacy. Okay. For government agency, okay, take note on this. This is very important. USB drive and more. Now, what does it mean? One of the methods used by hackers basically is using USB. Now, what does it mean? Now, how hacker do it basically? Normally, hacker will observe. Take example. Okay, you have to understand that why hacker interested with you for many reasons. You know, sometimes a hacker hired by a company that trying to get a tender from offered by your agency basically. So to know a status about the project and so on, sometimes they hire hacker. So hacker basically what they will do, they will try their best to get into your system. So one of the best method basically, they will find out who is the person in charge or secretary and so on basically. Take example, they have this agency A just open a tender for 50 million of project. Okay. So sometimes this company, what they will do basically, they hire a hacker, they pay the hacker probably 100,000 example, just to monitor activity about the tender. So what they will do, okay, this hacker basically will find a way to get into your system. How they do it? Okay, they will do footprinting. That means they find out who person in charge and so on. Let's say there's a secretary called the secretary name, let's say called Habibah, example. So they find out where Habibah is staying and so on. They will try to be friend with Habibah on the Facebook. They say Habibah like gold so much. So what they can do, what the hacker will do, the hacker will get USB and they will do gold plated. So look very nice lah, it's gold plated. Lepas tu apa dia buat? Dia akan letak USB gold plated tu dekat atas floor on the way to Habibah office. So when Habibah jalan nampak macam apa USB tumbler, dia macam lawanya, dia pun ambil. Lepas tu dia mungkin niat baik, dia nak pulang balik siapa owner tumbler bukan look so nice, dia pun plugging to the USB to her computer. So the moment they plugging to her computer, what happened? Automatically the virus can be injected basically. Okay, so once virus injected, that's it. Okay, the hacker will have full access to the computer. This method we call it as CNC basically. Okay, command and control center, that where the hacker can actually have a full access. Normally they will not do harm. Sorry, they will not do anything on the computer. They just observe. They just copy file. They see camera. They hear your conversation and so on. So be careful on this. Okay, so USB is one of that. Beside that, of course, nowadays we don't use CD lah. Many focus on the USB basically. Next, okay, encryption. I think the first presenter already mentioned about cryptography, which is talk about encryption. So encryption is very important basically to protect your data basically. So by using encryption, it can protect your data, okay, and it can prevent ransomware as well. Kalau maksudnya you punya komputer tu kan ada hadis tu kalau you encrypt, virus macam ransomware will not be able to attack basically. Okay, and to make it secure basically, when you go to access any website and so on, make sure you use HTTPS, which is much more secure. For wireless, okay, you use wireless connection that's secure by using WPA2. But even WPA2 basically can be hacked lah nowadays, unfortunately. Okay, kalau possible use WPA3, tapi jarang. Normally hackers, dia kalau dia nak attack, dia ada target, dia punya favorite place basically melalui hotel. Because you know why? Okay, you'll be surprised. Some of you will be wondering, will the hacker follow me to the, let's say to the Japan example? Kalau pergi Jepun, hacker tu ikut ke? Why not? Kalau dia got pay, kalau dia dibayar untuk 100,000, pergi Jepun berapa ribu je. Okay, kalau dia tahu you akan bercuti pergi Jepun atau bekerja ke Jepun ke, you akan stay in hotel. Hotel is the most easiest way for hackers to hack basically. Okay, so be careful on that. Okay, and of course by using encryption, so you can protect your device lah. Kalau hilang, tak ada siapa boleh access because you have been encrypted basically. Okay, so this part, it depends on the organization policy basically. So normally when encryption talking about protecting a device, it often associated with the phone PIN passcode lah. If your password very secure, nobody can crack basically. So if you use iOS ke Android ke, kan ada satu option where you need to enter password, better use that option basically. For Microsoft Windows, they use BitLocker. For Apple, they use firewall. Use this function basically. Next, internet safety quick tips. Okay, take note on this. Never click or install anything based on pop-up from website. Okay, now a hacker, for information, they can actually perform what we call SSS attack. SSS attack basically, they will attack a website. Once they attack the website tu, anybody visit their website will get infected. Bermakna once you get infected, once you go to the website, apa saja you type, dia boleh nampak. Sebab tu, the most popular place for this kind of attack basically a website that have pornography. You notice that orang yang pergi pornography website, dia punya komputer full of virus. Because website ni selalunya memang ada banyak ada banyak what we call SSS attack. So virus tu boleh masuk ke dalam komputer you the moment you go to that website basically. Okay, so take note of that. So always go to the trusted website basically. Now, next, as I mentioned before, avoid public Wi-Fi computer. If you got no choice, you have to use public Wi-Fi, it's okay, boleh, tapi use VPN. You kena tanya you punya IT people, I want to have a secure VPN connection because I need to access office email example, they probably can provide VPN to you basically. So VPN, whatever data that you send will be encrypted. Okay, so when you access the website, make sure you access HTTPS instead of HTTP. Now, internet privacy. Now, take note, data is a new goal now. Your data is valuable. You probably think it's not valuable. Kalau nak hack lah, bukan ada apa pun. It's not only about you, it's about your company that you work with, it's about your family members and so on. Okay, because by using data, you can do a lot of stuff basically. Okay, so take note on this. Okay, sometimes kita pergi website ke internet, dia kata itu free, you don't have to pay. Download the software, it's free software, you don't have to pay. Always remember, if you are not paying for it, kalau free, that means you are the product basically. Maksudnya you adalah victim untuk dia. Okay, take note on that. So they normally we use your data for data analytics and predictive result, mainly for advertising and insurance rate. Okay, example is, you know, sometimes kita pergi kat tempat-tempat jalan, orang stop kita, hey, kakak, berhenti sekejap kak, register kak, apply credit card, bubuh nama apa tu semua, akak dapat benda ni, akak dapat headphone, akak dapat kamera untuk letak dalam kereta and so on. You tengok, okay lah, I fill up nama semua, I boleh dapat hadiah ni on the spot for fill up nama. Lepas tu, akak kena ada EPF apa, boleh print tak akak, bagi EPF apa semua, you pun bagi. Lepas you bagi apa semua tu, okay, 1 year later you find out that, orang ni tahu my banking account, orang ni tahu my balance account, orang ni boleh access my EPF and so on. You'll be wondering, macam mana dia dapat data ni semua? So one of the reason is because through all this process basically. That's one aspect. Okay, beside the dark web, the one I mentioned to you just now. So lagi satu, jangan oversharing. Okay, example like fund, online survey, data, whatever you share on the Facebook for information, they will use this data and they will do the data analytics, including vacation photo and checking in location. This normally will be used by advertiser and so on. Not only them, even thief can see this information. Example like, sometimes they want to know whether will you be at home or not. So once they have your Facebook, you check in somewhere, they know that you are not in home. So it's the best time to go to your house, basically, to break into your house. So be careful on that. Okay, another example is, sometimes you're wondering how people know about your IC number and so on. Sometimes kita beli barang Shopee kan, Lazada ke apa, kita nak letak IC number. You receive barang tu dekat atas punya parcel tu ada IC number. So kadang-kadang apa diorang buat, orang yang jahat ni, dia akan ambil snapshot of your detail tu, okay, lepas tu dia boleh call you on behalf of Shopee, blah blah, this your IC number, right? Is it correct? Oh, okay, your parcel ada problem sikit lah kak, ada tax, please transfer this amount money untuk pay tax so that you can receive, basically, something like that. So that's another method. So if you have been scammed, what you need to do? Okay, so I'm not going to repeat this. Puan DSP Lai already mentioned, very good, very comprehensive, basically. You can follow what Puan DSP Lai mentioned just now, okay? But in case if you want to complain to MCMC, you can complain to this, basically. You can go to this website or just go to MMC website, portal www.cmcf for you to raise any complaint there, basically. Okay, now, so for more resources, kalau you ada question, you can always drop email to me or ask your IT department or your internet service provider, or you can even check with the cybersecurity Malaysia, basically. And remember, don't stop here. Attack keep changing. Okay, so you must always learn, basically. And more information, you can always ask Mr. Google, basically, to find out information. And make sure you get from a trusted source, or you can go to staysafeonline.org if you want to find out information about how we can have a secure, how we can have a safe computing and so on. Always remember, stop, think, and connect. And before you click, make sure you check first it is valid. All right. Okay, now let me open to, anybody have any question ke? Ada soalan ke? Nak tanya pasal cyber security? Anything about cyber security? Anybody have any question before we end our session?
Saya tanya sikit boleh tak?
Boleh.
Saya guna kipas. Ada cons dia ke berbanding dengan LastPass?
Oh, okay. Dia lebih kurang, actually, conceptually more or less about the same. I mean, it's a personal preference lah. I prefer to use LastPass because happen to be my I have a few students working in the LastPass in Australia, basically. So I know the product very well. And in terms of reputation, they are quite good, basically. But more or less about the same. It's okay for your information. I just, my preference is LastPass because I just get used to it. All my passwords are already stored on there. So I just continue with LastPass. Is it okay? Am I answering your question, by the way?
Yep, thank you.
Welcome. Anybody have any question about cybersecurity? Any question about cybersecurity? About cybersecurity kat rumah ke, kat office ke? Alright, I think no question. Okay. Alright. Okay, kalau ada sebarang soalan, even after this session, no worries. Okay, just drop me a simple email at rasodin.ramuddin@gmail.com. Okay, or you can just drop me a text or WhatsApp at this mobile number, basically. Okay, so I pulang kepada Tuan Pengerusi.
Tuan Penceramah.
Ya, saya.
Ya. Ni saya nak tanya simple soalan je.
Okay.
Berapa banyak ada berapa banyak laman web yang apa ni ditubuhkan untuk kita menyemak sama ada kita ditipu oleh scammer ataupun seumpama dengannya. Itu saja.
Okay. Okay, that's very interesting question. Berapa banyak I kurang pasti, to be honest with you. Tapi web link yang terbaik untuk semak benda ni, okay, adalah MCMC basically. Let me share this thing. Okay. Link ni ada pada pandangan saya, link ni adalah yang terbaik. www.cmcf.my basically untuk menyemak mengenai apa jua crime yang melibatkan cyber security basically. Tapi ada certain tu macam scam, lebih kompleks lah. Ada certain tu kalau mengenai katakan financial, kena pergi bank negara example. Okay, bank negara pun dia ada dia punya pautan untuk menyemak and so on. Tapi kalau you tanya yang ini is quite comprehensive basically. So they will have whatever necessary information from here. Memang banyak, tapi just have a centralized, this will be good. Another one is macam Puan DSP lah mention just now, dia bagi link tadi kan, yang itu pun bagus juga basically untuk polis. Dua benda ni, MCMC dengan Royal Malaysia Police RMP is good enough for information. Bank negara basically is a bit challenge because dia more pasal bank negara dia punya proses lain sikit kalau compare dengan MCMC dengan Royal Malaysia Police basically. Dia quite fast in term of revealing this any potential crime and so on. Okay, I hope I answered the question. Banyak just focus on these two.
Okay, selain daripada itu kan, boleh tak Tuan Penceramah beri sedikit pencerahan bagaimana kita boleh mengenal pasti sama ada laman web itu selamat ataupun selamat dari segi berupaya memberi perlindungan data pribadi, privasi ataupun lain-lain.
Okay, boleh. Okay, so apa kita boleh buat? Okay, I demonstrate to you. I demonstrate sekarang lah, senang sekali kan? So semua boleh nampak. Okay, so when we go Google, take example, kita nak I bagi contoh, kita nak pergi satu website dipanggil Shopee example. Shopee.com. Tadi saya cakap type Shopee, dia pergi kat sini. Cool. So this another link. So compare dengan Shopee. Dengan perkataan Shopee yang betul lah. Google. So kita nak menyemak macam mana benda ni betul ke tak betul. So selalunya cara terbaik ialah kita pergi kat Google, go to Google, okay, dan kita type website tu, example like Shopee, kita akan keluar benda ni. Dan apa yang ada kat sini, dia ada satu link dipanggil, let me show you something. Ada a few things we can do. If I go to Shopee, first open new tab here. Okay, first kita boleh tengok kat sini. Dia punya certificate. Ini dipanggil certificate. Ini pencamah pertama yang cakap tadi, ada public key, infrastructure, ada private public key, right? So one of the element basically yang certificate sini. You nampak yang ada nampak lock ni. Klik kat lock ni. Okay, kalau you keluar kat sini, dia ada keluar macam dia tak ada keluar warning kat sini, bermakna okay. I bagi tunjuk contoh yang ada warning. Contoh yang ada warning. Let me see. Sebelum ni ada satu dipanggil website, dipanggil instead of Shopee SHO, dia jadi SH0. Shopee.com. Okay, ini scammer punya website ni. let me check dia dah okay. Macam ni kali ni internet yang pakai dia dah block lah pasal dia detect benda ni dah scam. Can you see that? Some website, some firewall dia boleh detect dia terus block. Kalau you boleh access ni, kadang-kadang you boleh nampak kat sini, you klik secure ni, you boleh nampak your connection to this site isn't secure. Itu warning pertama. Okay, kalau you dah nampak ni, jangan continue lah. Itu satu. Nombor dua, kita pergi kat Google. Okay, satu kita just set. Pergi kat Google, look for save Google website, Google Save Website Checker. Pergi kat Google, type Google Save Website Checker. Dan dia ada Google Save Browsing. Nampak Google Save Browsing ni, right click button, open new tab. Okay, di sini dia ada information, dia akan check sama ada website tu save ke tak save, apa semua dekat situ. Untuk pakai benda ni, okay, dia ada satu plugin which you need to install. When you install, example in this case, Save Browsing Protect Google and other product, Chrome and other browser, you can ini untuk Google Chrome. Kalau you pakai Android, apa boleh check, dia boleh check semua ni. You klik learn more. Okay, kalau you pakai Chrome yang ini, download Chrome latest yang ini, dia dah ada satu features. Dekat sini dia akan bagi guideline macam mana nak check. Example like ini, browse with Google, dia akan tunjuk dekat you cara ini. Okay, ini dia tak mana dia. Okay, dia tak tunjuk sangat. So apa dia buat kat sini? Google, kalau you pakai Chrome ni dia dah ada satu features. Kalau dia nampak website tu macam suspicious ke apa, dia dah block awal-awal untuk you. You pergi kat google.com, Chrome Security, download benda ni, download Chrome yang latest ni, dia dah buat protection to you by default. Am I answer your question? Ini dua benda.
Ya, thank you.
Welcome. So normally kalau website tu ada phishing ke scam ke apa, dia buat tu. Nombor 3, saya dah tunjuk nombor 1, you tengok boleh set. Nombor 2, you boleh pakai Google Chrome, dia ada dah features untuk block kalau ada. Nombor 3, untuk rumah, kadang-kadang kat rumah kita risau anak kita pergi online kan, takut dia download ke, dia pergi pornografi website ke apa, kita ataupun dia kena scam ke apa. Nak protect benda tu, apa you buat? You pakai ni. You pergi kat google.com. Ini technical sikit lah, yang ini technical sikit. Okay, cari Google untuk DNS, DNS for family, save DNS for family. Pakai yang ini, klik yang ini. So dia ada keluar simple DNS, okay, for family. Kalau you scroll down kat sini, what is the safest DNS? Keluar sini dia ada keluar IP address ni. Macam yang ini open DNS pun okey ni. Ni open DNS IP address. So apa you buat? Dekat rumah you, kalau you pakai Wi-Fi, dekat Wi-Fi tu you kena set DNS. So DNS IP address tu you kena set ni. Kalau ini kena panggil technical people sikit lah untuk tolong set IP address dalam DHCP server. So kalau you pakai DNS ni dekat rumah Wi-Fi, let's say like my house. So what happen is, I already tested, okay, dengan pakai IP ni, you tak boleh, kalau orang hantar email scam kat you ke apa, you klik kat link tu, dia automatically block. Dia tak boleh pergi kat situ. Itu satu. You pun tak boleh pergi pornografi website, semua tak boleh, dia akan block kat situ. Certain website like gambling ke apa, dia pun boleh block basically kalau you set kat situ. This is one of the option. Okay, so I hope I answered the question. So 3 steps basically. 1, check HTTPS ke tak. Nombor 2, pakai browser yang level, pakai browser Google Chrome example yang datang dengan features ni semua. Nombor 3, tukar kepada DNS, save DNS, pakai IP address yang ini. InsyaAllah kalau you pakai ni, risk tu rendah sikit. Kalau kat rumah kita boleh tukar DNS lah. Ini kalau kat kerajaan, dekat office, tak boleh lah. Alright, any other question? So these are the things that we do. Ada soalan ke? Okay, kalau tak ada soalan, tak ada soalan, itu saja daripada saya. Terima kasih semua. Minta maaf masa ambil terlebih sikit. I hope this information useful for you basically in your, to be safe on online basically. So enjoy your lunch and let me pass to our chairman. Thank you. Terima kasih semua. Okay, terima kasih.
Dengan ini, terima kasih diucapkan kepada ketiga-tiga penceramah kita pada hari ini berhubung keselamatan cyber dan kriptografi dalam sektor awam. Semoga apa yang telah diberikan memberi impak yang besar terhadap semua perkhidmatan awam, terutamanya kesedaran dan keselamatan dalam jenayah cyber. Sebelum segmen ini berakhir, sekali lagi bagi tujuan pengesahan kehadiran, sila pastikan tuan-puan telah mengisi pengesahan kehadiran melalui pautan Google Form yang telah dikongsikan dalam ruangan chat. Peserta yang telah mengesahkan kehadiran akan menerima email pengesahan melalui alamat email yang telah didaftarkan selewat-lewatnya pada jam 5 petang ini. Bagi mencetak slip kehadiran, sila log masuk ke dalam www.iemg.intan.my, klik log masuk dan membuat penilaian. Slip pengesahan kehadiran akan boleh dijana setelah tuan-puan selesai membuat penilaian program. Sekian itu sahaja. Terima kasih kepada semua yang telah menjayakan webinar pada kali ini. Semoga berjumpa lagi di program yang akan datang. Awas, jangan jadi mangsa jenayah cyber. Sekian dan terima kasih.